Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is with us now as we go beyond the barometer one more time. We're going back to September of 1955.
September of 1955, the second week of September, it was a very interesting time because, we've seen some big swings in the temperatures, a couple of cool nights, and then we had the heat wave this past weekend. Now temperatures are turning cool again. That's nothing compared to what happened in 1955. So let's take a look at what the setup was. So it was a hot summer leading into the first part of September. We had 35 days of 90-degree high temperatures or better just in July and August alone.
Wow.
I mean, normally we have, I think, like 14 or 15 days a year, and we had the equivalent of over a month of 90-degree plus days. 4 of those days, the temperatures hit 100 degrees. We had 3 record high temperatures in July, 3 more in August. And there probably would be more. Several of those days were in the upper 90s, but it was just, they happened to occur on days where the record highs were in the triple digits back from the hot summers of 1934 and 1936. And it was quite dry in August. We only had 1.55 inches of rain, and most of that fell in the first 10 days. So that leads us into the start of September. The 1st of September, we dropped to 39 degrees. We set a record low temperature, okay? But notice the high temperature. It was 79 degrees. So we had a 40-degree temperature swing between the early morning low and the afternoon high. That happens when the air is very dry. And we saw more of that for the first week of September. Every day, the swing between the early morning low and the afternoon high was 30 to 35 degrees. And it was still dry. No rain for the first part of September. So that leads us to what happened on September 9th of 1955. We hit a record high of 97 degrees. It was the hottest temperature for so late in the year, okay? That's the 9th.
So that'd be this coming Saturday.
Exactly. But look what happened on the 11th. Right before midnight, we dropped to 34 degrees and set a record low temperature. And on the 12th, we dropped to 31 degrees in the morning. That was the earliest frost we've ever had in Madison. 3 days after setting a record for the hottest temperature for so late in the season. So we go cold, and then look what happens after that. On the 16th, we're back up to 90 degrees. We missed a record high by 1 degree on that date. On the 17th, we did set a record high at 90 degrees. And on the 18th, we set another record high of 92 degrees.
So it freezes. Everything's dead. It's in the 90s.
Well, I don't think that probably killed everything, but it was just, I mean...
It's tough to dress.
Yeah, when you see temperature swings like that, but really the only way that that happens is if you have very dry air, very almost desert-like, and, we're in a drought right now. And so that's why we're seeing those big temperature swings between the, the early morning low temperatures. We've had temperatures in the 30s north of the Dells a couple of days ago, and then all of a sudden, we're in the 90s for the weekend. So that can happen.
So
but,
are you going to say 90s may be coming back this year?
I wouldn't count it out, but, every day that goes by from this point on, I think the chances that we hit 90 degrees are pretty small. I think we've hit 90 into the middle part of October, so, it's not out of the question, but, again...
Imagine dressing your kids for school those days?
39 in the morning,
90,
almost 80 in the afternoon.
They can learn about planning.
Plan ahead.
But, like I say, so, a lot of times when people say, oh, this is unusual, that we had, lows in the 30s and then highs in the 90s a few days later. Just about anything you can find in the record books, you can find something that was worse, and that was a really good example. That was a strange year.
I remember it well.
Yeah, 1955.
I was probably a fetus. I was born
missed it.
I was born in February '56, so I was around.
Yeah. What was that like?
I don't remember.
I was born in 1961, but I remember '55 very well. At least through the weather records.
Youngins, these two.
All right. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
Gary.